Hey, good morning to you. It's Daybreak at iFiber One News Radio. I got two great guests in studio with me to talk about a fun night tonight and tomorrow. It is Kathy Geist and Jeanne Rehwaldt. Morning.
Good morning.
How y'all doing?
Morning. Very good. Very
Doing
good.
great.
You have a joke for
I
me?
have a hump day joke for you.
All right.
Yes. What do you call a big old pile of kittens?
What
This
do you
is
call
hilarious.
what do you call a big old pile of kittens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A meowton.
Huh.
Come on. It's the
Oh,
only
there's a
clean
lot of
joke I
groans
know.
out there.
We're just about out of time for the morning.
See ya.
Come on.
Wow. All right. Well, you heard that at Oyster Fest?
It's G-rated.
No,
yeah,
that
it's
is a
the only
great
one I
G-rated
know.
joke.
And it's comedy, right?
Exactly.
And that's what we're talking about here. Laughter, not Stigma II, an evening of free entertainment. Stand up for mental health, and it is two performances. One tonight, Shelton High School's auditorium from 6:30 to 8:30. Tell me about this.
Go ahead, Jeannie. You're the pro on this.
Well, it's brought to us from the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization and also NAMI, some say NAMI,
Yes.
the National Association of Mental Illness. And because of the three people on the advisory board for the BHO, Kathy and I are two of the three. We are the voice for Mason County, and we got them to put the forum on here as well. And
Nice.
so because of our partnership with Shelton High School, we got a really great rate, and the
Great
performing
venue, perfect
the
venue,
Performing
yeah.
Arts Auditorium is big secret in the county. It's a great place to go, and they are wired to the hilt. And we have two comedians performing. There'll be tables set up in the lobby so you can learn about resources and services available here in Mason County if you have some mental illness or substance abuse issues.
Or have family members, which, statistics would say that every single one of us in the country now know someone or have been affected by people with mental health, mental illness and addiction. They talk a great deal they're going to be talking a great deal about opiate addiction and with mental health and addiction, oftentimes it's one and the same. Either are the mental health crisis that the person is caused by an addiction, or their mental illness that they were basically born with has caused them to self-medicate, and then they'll also then have an addiction.
Wow.
So people don't realize the correlation there so much of the time.
And a lot of it comes from trauma in childhood, even up to adolescence. You're still in high school and something happens and you don't know how to deal with it. And so your brain looks for ways out of it.
The CDC says that between 2002 and 2016, deaths from opiate overdose has raised 553%.
Wow.
Which means that I wrote some of these things down. So that means 13,219 deaths a year in our country, which is more than 9/11 if it happened every 3 weeks. So, if this were anything else, this is what kills me. If this were anything else killing our people would be outraged, up in arms.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, the perception or the stigma, which is what they're going to talk about a lot tonight, the stigma is that somehow if you're mentally ill, it's a weakness somehow, a character weakness.
It's a
or
moral
an addiction.
failing.
It's a moral failing, yeah. And people need to get past that, because it also, that stigma also makes it so that people suffering from mental illness or addiction, or have it in, suffering, their family members are suffering from it, they're embarrassed. And so that's the stigma we have to get rid of, because you shouldn't be embarrassed. This is affecting everyone. The person with mental health, mental illness, and addiction isn't that person out on the street or that homeless person that you see. In fact, the hugest majority of people with mental illness and addiction aren't on the streets.
Right.
So
They're functioning,
Yeah.
and it's hidden.
yeah.
What are some of the numbers that you can share about folks in Mason County with this? And is there anything that you've seen either in the county or statewide? Or, I mean, there seems to be a little bit more of a conversation that this is an epidemic, and there's the thought that maybe soon there'll be considered the war on opioids or
Right.
whatever that will do. Who knows, if anything. But if it's just a lot of talk and bluster, or are things actually getting done?
Things are getting done at the state level. The governor has put together a task force and put some money behind it for opioids. But, we have other problems, methamphetamine is a big one. But locally, we have a task force looking at diversion for folks that have mental illness from going straight into jail, going to get treatment and help and get on some medication. Because our courts are jam-packed, our jail is packed, and our sheriff's office is overtaxed.
Yeah.
So, in more ways than one, I guess.
We talk about once a month with Thurston County Commissioner Bud Blake, and I know he's a big in on the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization, as well as you guys and Commissioner Drexler. And everything that I hear from him coming out of this opportunity for the folks to come out and assess the situation before being perhaps being put in jail seems to really be working. I think he said over the last year maybe 43 folks or something like that were not put in jail, and they were put through this diversion. And are you seeing those same kind of?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the TMBHO that we represent Mason County on. That's what they're working towards, and so part of what we've been doing is opening the 10-day hold treatment centers, which here in our county is going to be at the PUD when we get through that.
The former PUD.
The former PUD 3 building, on Coda Street, and then in the TCC we have Telecare, which has taken up 3 spaces in front of in our offices, and they have their mobile team. So that mobile team now, instead of somebody in Belfair calling the police because we have someone that is in the middle of a mental health crisis breakdown at Starbucks or whatever, not to say Starbucks, and that's what happens there, but sorry, at the park or whatever, wherever this may be, even in obviously in private homes, whatever, instead of the police and maybe medical professionals or the fire truck showing up, this team goes out, unless it's imminent right then that there's a life safety or something like that that it is a medical issue. This team goes out. It's a mobile team. They assess. They're made up of homeless experts, addiction professionals, all sorts of mental health professionals, and they go and triage the person literally on site, maybe on the sidewalk. And then instead of having this person go to jail overnight and sleep it off and get back out, and for me, I started seeing that myself, and having lived here kind of all my life, seeing this sort of revolving door thing, and it wasn't helping anyone. It wasn't helping our businesses. It wasn't helping our emergency responders, and it definitely, which was most important, it wasn't helping our citizen in crisis. It was just putting them through a revolving door and getting them right back out to where they were.
Wow.
And so this, we're seeing, myself, I don't have statistics, but I can tell you, being here downtown, what feels like sometimes 7 days a week, 55 hours a week, I see it. And I get to know a lot of our folks that are dealing with mental illness and addiction, and I talk to them personally, and I'm talking to them, and they are getting treated, and they're seeing this, because that was the biggest thing. Even if they could roll up on somebody who was even saying, I want help, I need help, I'm done, I'm tired, please help me, there was no place for us to take them to get the treatment. So
and now we have Consejo here as well, and
for for our Spanish speaking population,
and English speakers go there too.
And what's really great is a lot of that stuff is located, a lot of the services are located all about in the same place, and not necessarily for walk-up service. That's not what it is. They go out, but then after the person has gone through treatment, and it's that support system that they need when they come back to our community, and that was lacking. That's where we were seeing that we were losing people. They go into treatment, even voluntarily, and they really want to help with this. Then they get back out, and they get right back into the same circle or whatever environment that they were in, and that doesn't help.
Another piece is housing, and so the Housing Coalition meets monthly, and we are divided into groups and set goals, and we're trying to come up with ways to get landlords to say, yes, we will take somebody on Section 8 or with vouchers, and kind of inform them why they really would want to have these people that have come out of treatment.
Tell us again about what's going on tonight, and then it's also going to be in Olympia at the Kenneth J. Arts Center. But again, tell us who the comedians are and all about this.
I want to correct one of my statistics. So I'm reading on here because, of course, I don't have this stuff memorized. Though there were over 30,000 fatal overdoses from opioid drugs in 2015, and it's gone way up since 2015. Public health experts believe that for every fatal overdose, there are 30 non-fatal overdoses, and that would mean over 900,000 overdoses in 2015.
Jeez.
So with that said, I do want to say one thing. We have a wonderful local young man working on overdose prevention, and he's out there trying to get people trying to educate our businesses and our people in all of our different downtowns and in Belfair and in Allen and Hoodsport. And it's Abe Gardner. And he's wanting to get out there and help people.
And I think they have an opioid forum up in North Mason.
They do.
I was talking with Jeremy Hicks yesterday, and I think Chief Balkin is going to come down. We're going to talk about it coming up.
Let me give Abe's number. It's 463-2238. So if you're interested in how your business might be able to help prevent overdoses, if you yourself, call Abe. He's got a lot of good information.
So on a lighter note, tonight is not going to be heavy. It is going to be fun. I saw Sam last year in Olympia, and he asked if the people that had come in from Shelton came in on a covered wagon. He was kind of picking on me a little bit, I felt, but it was fun. And then we're bringing in David Grenier from Canada. And he has lots of awards, but he says his counseling business is going so well that last year he came dangerously close to quitting his job at 7-Eleven.
Almost there.
So he's coming to entertain and talk about the cutting edge work he does using comedy for folks that are experiencing mental illness. And then through this course that he gives, they put together a stand-up show at the end and kind of use comedy to work through their problems.
It's really pretty hilarious. I saw it last year too. And actually, even if you ask people that are suffering from mental illness, they'll tell you there's kind of a lot to laugh about.
Well, you have to laugh. Laughter's the best medicine. I wrote an article about that a couple weeks ago. And it makes you feel better. You create endorphins. It's just fun.
And what he really concentrates on, which I think is hilarious, is how funny other people treat him. How you can really laugh at how people treat him, when he had when he was really in the thralls of mental illness, and the stuff that people would say and meaning well,
right?
But it's pretty funny what people come up with, because that's what their perceptions are.
Jerry Apple's Sad Club is going to be there, their booster club, and the students, and they'll be providing refreshments as a fundraiser for them.
Good.
So.
Yeah, we were really happy to have the youth involved.
Yeah, we're trying to get lots of high schoolers. We got flyers up everywhere, and let's fill up the auditorium and show Thurston County that we come out for these events.
Doors open at 6. It starts at 6:30, goes till 8:30 at the high school on Shelton Springs Road. Tomorrow, same time, with the doors opening at the same time at the Kenneth J. Minart Center at South Puget Sound Community College on Mottman. Kathy, Jeannie, good to see you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thanks a lot.
It's nice to see you.